The United States and Iran have once again found themselves circling each other at the negotiating table. This time, the backdrop is Oman, a nation known for its role as a neutral intermediary in the tumultuous sea of Middle Eastern politics. The stakes? Oh, just the future of global security and the ever-present threat of nuclear proliferation. No biggie. Leading the charge for the U.S. is Steve Witkoff, the U.S. Middle East envoy. On the Iranian side, we have Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, a man no stranger to the high-pressure world of international diplomacy. And let's not forget the host, Omani Foreign Minister Badr al-Busaidi, the diplomatic equivalent of a seasoned referee trying to keep these two heavyweight contenders from turning the whole thing into a free-for-all. Now, it's important to note that these talks are indirect. That's diplomat speak for, we're not quite ready to be seen in the same room together. Think of it like a really tense episode of The Bachelorette, where the contestants are only allowed to communicate through Chris Harrison. The air crackles with tension, with every carefully chosen word carrying the weight of decades of mistrust and animosity. The world watches with bated breath, hoping against hope that this time, diplomacy might actually have a fighting chance. Let's talk about deadlines, baby, because nothing adds a little spice to international diplomacy like a ticking clock and the looming threat of global conflict. And who better to set the stage for this high-stakes game of geopolitical chicken than former President Donald J. Trump? In a move that surprised absolutely no one, Trump has issued a 2-month ultimatum to Iran: get with the program or face the music. And by music he means the very real possibility of military action. Because nothing says let's talk peace like the shadow of Tomahawk missiles looming on the horizon. But Trump, ever the magnanimous negotiator, has also dangled a carrot alongside the stick. He envisions a future where Iran, stripped of its nuclear ambitions, flourishes as a wonderful, great, happy country. Think of it as a geopolitical makeover, with Trump as the host of an international relations edition of Extreme Home Makeover. Now Iran, being no stranger to pressure tactics, has met Trump's bluster with a steely gaze and a firm set of non-negotiable principles. They're willing to talk, sure, but they're not about to be bullied into submission. Their message is clear: any deal must respect their sovereignty, address their security concerns, and recognize their right to a peaceful nuclear program. In other words, don't even think about dictating terms from a position of military and economic might. Looming over these talks is the ghost of agreements past, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, or JCPOA, better known as the Iran nuclear deal. This landmark agreement, painstakingly negotiated during the Obama administration, offered Iran sanctions relief in exchange for curbs on its nuclear program. But then Trump, in a move that surprised absolutely no one, decided to torpedo the whole thing. He argued, with the subtlety of a sledgehammer, that the deal wasn't tough enough, that it didn't address Iran's ballistic missile program or its support for regional proxies. So he pulled the US out, slapped sanctions back on, and generally made a mess of things. Now, the Biden administration is trying to salvage what it can, but the damage has been done. Trust, once broken, is a fragile thing to rebuild, especially when you're dealing with decades of animosity and suspicion.